Karen Horney is a German-American psychoanalyst. She's known for founding feminine psychology, being a Neo-Freudian, and contributing to personality theory through her focus on social-cultural factors, neurotic needs, and self-image. She was born Karen Danielson on September 16, 1885 in Blankenese, Germany. She grew up with a very strict father who favored her older brother, but she had a close relationship with her mother. At the age of 9, she decided that if she couldn't be pretty, then she would be smart. She also battled her first episode of depression at this time and continued to struggle with depression through the rest of her life. At the age of 13, she decided that she wanted to become a doctor. She entered medical school at Freiburg University in 1906. In 1909, she married Oscar Horney, and she started psychoanalysis with Carl Abraham, who is known as the first psychoanalyst in Berlin. In 1911, she gave birth to her daughter Brigitte, and in 1912, she joined the Berlin Psychoanalytic Society as a psychoanalyst and a teacher. In 1913, she gave birth to her second daughter, Marianne, and she graduated from medical school. In 1916, she gave birth to her third daughter, Renate, and in 1920, she was a founding member of the Berlin Psychoanalytic Institute. In 1922, she contested Freud's theory of penis envy and criticized masculine dominance in psychology. In 1926, she separated from her husband Oscar, and eventually they divorced. In 1932, she left the Berlin Psychoanalytic Society and moved to the United States, where she was a psychoanalyst at the Chicago Institute of Psychoanalysis. In 1934, 2 years later, she moved to New York City and taught and practiced at the New School for Social Research and the New York Psychoanalytic Institute. In 1941, due to her critiques of Freud, she resigned from the New York Psychoanalytic Institute. She became the dean of the American Institute of Psychoanalysis, where she remained until her death. She also co-founded the Association for the Advancement of Psychoanalysis. She founded the American Journal of Psychoanalysis also in 1941. In 1952, she died of cancer on December 4th, and after her death, her colleagues and friends opened the Karen Horney Clinic as a research, training, and low-cost treatment center. The Karen Horney Clinic is still open and operational at 329 East 62nd Street in New York City. She's known as the founder of feminine psychology for recognizing the role of culture and socialization in gender differences. This is different from previous scholars who saw biological differences as the reason for these gender differences. She also studied the way that gender power imbalances contributed to the development of mental illness. As a Neo-Freudian, Karen Horney differed from Freud in a number of different areas. She didn't feel that the sexual experiences that occurred in childhood were as formative as Freud believed. She placed a lot of emphasis on the parent and child relationship in childhood. She also countered Freud's idea of penis envy with womb envy, so the suggestion that males envied the ability for women to fulfill their purpose in life through childbirth. She also developed a theory of neurosis that included 10 different neurotic needs that were categorized as moving toward people, moving against people, and moving away from people. She also believed in the idea of self-growth and self-realization, meaning that people had the ability to change and to improve upon themselves, which also differed from Freud. So Karen Horney's quote here, "Concern to drive us into action, not into a depression," really highlights her view of self growth and self realization.